Hi everybody, Jo here again. Thanks for joining me. As always, it's lovely to just spend some nice time with you and get on with something nice and crafty. Hope you've got a nice brew. Maybe that cheeky biscuit. What are we on this week? Something nice, I hope. So what I thought I'd do is I want to introduce you to one of our other new stamps. Now, yesterday we met Pan. Now, he's rather a gorgeous character. Now, today we're going to meet, let me check what he's called, Fip. Now, I'm hoping that's how I pronounce it. If not, I do apologise. And look at him. Now, is he a little boy or a little girl? I think he's a boy, isn't he? But you know what? Artistic licence. And isn't he gorgeous? Look. And he's got the gorgeous lantern look. And I just think there are so many possibilities that we could do with this. And another, look at these, another new stamp. Now, these are gorgeous, the Starlight set. Now, these, look, you could stamp them upwards, could have them growing upwards. You could stamp them across a page, couldn't you? Again, I use this phrase, so many possibilities, but that's because we have. So it's quite a clean and simple design, this. And we're going to be using a nice stencil in the background. And again, I'm not going to overcomplicate it because I just want to show off the absolute beautiful detail in our new stamps. And for me, that's very important. So what we'll do is we're going to start with a piece of card. And for this, I've gone for a 5x7. Obviously, that's inches. So 5 inches by 7 inches. Now, if you actually wanted to put this on a 5x7 card blank, you would just cut it a little bit shorter on either side. And really, it wouldn't make much difference. You'd probably just lose a little bit of this area here. And what we're going to do is we'll start by adding our stamping as we do. So I'll just get my copy of paper. Now, I've already put my black Sharpie line round, just because, again, I find it easy to do straight away. So we'll stamp our young chap first. And I'm going to use black. Again, is a lovely silhouette. So I'm going for the VersaFine Claire, the Nocturne. Lots of nice light tapping when we're stamping him up. But it is important we do give him a good covering of ink. And again, if you're new, just tilt it in the light. Yeah, and he looks like he's perfect to me. So I want him near the bottom, but I don't want him right at the bottom. So, and quite often I would stamp on the side, but this I want to check that he's actually stood upright. So this one I'm stamping this way. Now I just think he's going to be so useful. And he's quite sizable. I mean, if I measure him for you, probably not the best time to do it, but hey-ho, we like a challenge, don't we? 2.5 inches he is. So for a little chap, that's quite big. And again, it's a silhouette, so I'm just going to let that ink soak into the card. And I'm using my lovely Lavinia acrylic blocks. So we'll just lift that up and look at that. Absolutely beautiful. Now, what I want to do, because I love the fact he's got his fairy lantern, we have got a mini fairy lantern. So that's ideal for me to team up with this. So what I shall do is get one of my small blocks. And I'm thinking, let's just have a fairy lantern next to him that's just resting on the ground somewhere there. Now, there are so many possibilities with your fairy lanterns. Again, you know what it's like when I don't know about you, but my head starts going and I'm thinking, oh, I could do this, I could do that. But for this one, as I say, we've got 2 lovely new stamps and they're called the Starlight set. So I think we'll come in with these. And again, I'm just going to do that trick of turning to the side. And we'll have one, say, here. And then Let's go for one here. And then let's just bring the other one in. So the difference is the one we've just stamped's got sort of a wiggly hanging, and this one has got almost like a straight hanging chain. And I think it's a little bit smaller. Let me check you can see. So this one, oh, look at that black smudge. Don't worry, we won't see that, we'll hide that. So this one, I'm thinking, let's stamp it just here. Now, let's see if we turn that. Could we do that? Or shall we draw it? Right, see, I'm thinking I could stamp that. If it was only to there, I could. Oh, I know, let's stamp a bit and see if we can draw a bit in. Let's live dangerously. Let's see. So let's see if my chain goes there. So let's see if we can dot a bit. And I'm dotting it because it's almost got little dots in it. I'll just join that one up there. Oh, there we go. Nobody will ever know that it wasn't that long, will they? Well, I won't tell them if you won't. Now, we want some more of these, don't we? Just to add into the mix. So, I don't want to overcook it, but I want a few. So we'll pop one there. Now, where that black little tip, if you get a black smudge like me, don't know where that came from. They do. They appear. Check my hands, can't see a black. So, where we've got a black smudge, we'll just put the edge. There we go. And then let's have one hanging from there. Oh, that looks nice. And then I think we'll have, let me just have a look. Should we have one hanging from there? Yes. Now on my original look, I had one here, but I'm thinking to change it up a bit. I don't want one there. I quite like that as it is. Do I want one there? Again, that's where the acetate comes in. Oh, actually, yes. See, again, if you use your acetate, now, I don't know, do you agree with me? For me, there seems to be a gap here. Now, when I put that there, it does look, if I just dangle it down a little, yes, yeah, I like that. So, the acetate's won me over. Just got to make sure I put it exactly where the acetate was. But it's a great way rather than stamping it. So, I think we were sort of talking here and down a little bit, weren't we? Yeah, like that. So we'll give that a nice blot again, just because it's a slower drying ink. I could run my heat tool over it, but we'll just give it a blot. And then we're going to come in with the stenciling. So we'll get rid of that. Now the stencil that I've gone for is, let me check, a flurry. I was thinking sort of a flurry of leaves. And also we're going to bring our landscape masks into play. So we want the flatter one, the number one, which is, there we go. And we're going to need a stencil brush. And we've gone for the colour for this one. I'm using my elements, but I've gone for the russet orange. And we'll start off, I think, by just grounding our little chap. And again, I just want it under the fairy lantern there. I think, yeah, that'll do me nicely. So dabbing my ink and onto my mat. And as always, I'll just start on the landscape mask. Now this can be quite deep, so I'm just going to flick and come all the way along. And I want this quite deep so I can bring the colour off the mask try and get a nice even colour all the way along. Just blend it backwards and forwards. Now I could add more hills if I wanted. That's just an alternative. This one I think I'll just stick with my stenciling. But like I say, should you wish, you could carry on and add some hills, add the sun. Again, that would be lovely. Maybe I'll have a go at that one maybe another day. But today, I think we'll stick with adding the stencil. So again, I just want to be mindful which bit of the stencil I use. And for me, the reason, as you know, that I stamp first is that I can see where my stenciling's going to be. Now, I could take my stencil down, but I'm just going to hold it. Now, again, we'll put some ink on there. I'm going to put the lid on my ink pad because I think I've got enough there. And I'm going to start in the corners because I like the corners deeper. And I'm just going to be mindful of just blending a little bit of ink, and I am going around where I've stamped. So again, I'm going to add more ink onto my stencil brush when I come down the side because I want this deeper. And then just lighter as I go into the middle. Isn't it funny, my voice sort of goes a little bit more whispery when I say a bit lighter. So if I just move my hand and come down to this bottom edge, again, deeper. And then I'm just going to do nice gentle flicks into this area here. And if I lift that up to give me an idea, oh, that's looking lovely. Don't think I want any more actually. Let me just see. Just a tiny bit more here. And then, yes, I like that. And can you see where I started here with more ink? It's lovely and deep. And for me, that balances with the bottom, the base, that lovely orange, and then nice light work here. Now, what I'm going to do to add some colour, again, there are lots of things you can do to add your colour. You can use your pens, lots of pencils, the intense pencils, but I'm just going to use a little bit of my oxide ink on my mat. Now, I'm just going to use my Lavinia brush. This is number 1. I seem to favour number 1. And I'm just going to go for a little bit of yellow, base of his wing, and in the middle of my lantern. And again, I'm just, now, like I always say, at home, when I'm doing this, I would spend longer. But obviously for the purposes of recording this, I'll do this quite speedily. So once I've added that, I'm going to come in with the orange that I dabbed onto my mat. Now I just need to wipe my paintbrush. I just need a bit of my kitchen towel. With dabbing my paintbrush in the water, sometimes I get water here and I don't want it to go onto my work. So what I'll do is come in with the orange and then down into that yellow just to blend his wing look. And the same with these lanterns, I'm going to go around the edge and then just come in towards that yellow and just almost blend it. So the same thing, and it just helps give a little bit more detail. And also because I'm watercolour painting and I'm not using thick, sort of a lot of colour, it won't obliterate the detail. Can you see? You can still see all those beautiful lines in his wing. So again, I'm just turning my work because for me, it's easier and I've less chance of leaning. And again, I've got my hand here on my kitchen roll, paper towel. You could use a piece of copy paper, anything that just stops you putting your hand on and getting any more of those little black marks that we sometimes get, aka the one that was down here somewhere. Now, if I wanted, I could come in and just go back in with my yellow and blend that yellow into the orange. So really, I'm just going between the two colours. That's a bit watery. So just get a bit more ink. And again, want that a bit deeper. And I just find this so relaxing. It's just such a lovely way to add colour. But as I say, if you've got your polychromos, you could add those. I mean, really, it's whatever you like to use to add your colour. I'm just a big fan of using the ink that's on my desk, but also I find it so relaxing to just add the ink almost with this watercolour painting effect. And I just find it blends so well. Add a little bit more yellow to that one. Just blend it round. Same with this one. Right, I think we're on our last one. I think we've just got about enough ink left on here. I am terrible, you know, I like to use the ink up. I don't want to put any more on my mat. I mean, what am I like? It would only be a tiny bit, but I'd rather use what's there if I can. There we go. That is lovely. Now, I'm just going to come in with a little bit of crackling campfire because I think this will be darker. And let's just see if I can add a tiny bit of detail at the bottom just to give it a little bit more oomph. And just with his wing at the top here. And these are the little details that just, and again, where we've got shade here, look. And again, if I bring that a little bit closer, can you see the difference that's made? So we're just going to turn upside down again. And just on the base, I mean, Tracy has drawn the detail here for us. So just at the base of these. And I always think these are the little things that just make our artwork look even more spectacular. And they're just worth doing. The tiny little finishing tricks for me makes all the difference. And this one just wants a bit of dark round there. A bit more water. And then this one I think we need. And then let me turn it round and have a look how we're doing. Oh yes, I like that. It's amazing the difference. Just that little bit of deeper colour. I'm happy with that. So with this little bit that's left here, let's just see if we've got enough to add a few splats. I don't want many, just a few. See if I've got a bit of orange there. No, I'm going to have to add a little bit more. What am I like? So I think I'll get my fan brush. Tap some water off it. There we go. Oh, that's better. You need a good bit of an orange splat. There we go. And again, we'll just wipe that up. So you can see how that design has come together really quickly. And again, just some little finishing tricks. So as always, we'll come in with the white, the pastel pencil. And again, I know I always say it, but if you like your gel pen, use your gel pen. You know me. I just favour this. But again, it's however you like to add your highlights. It really is up to you. And what I do need is a bit of shadow, don't I? So let's come in with let's go for a dark. And I'm thinking, I mean, we haven't got a sun or a moon on here, but I just think it'd be nice to have my shadow going that way. So I've got the shadow there, and then our staff, his little staff there, we're going to need a little shadow. And again, I'm just going to smudge it, and that'll fix my charcoal, but also it just makes the shadow look a bit more smudgy, which I think makes it look a bit more realistic, doesn't it? So There we go. Maybe just give a bit of where his wing is there. Yeah. Right, so that can... And let's have some nice silver. I must admit, I need another silver pen. Look, I'm nearly running out. But I do seem to have used this a lot recently. And what I'm thinking is we're just going to add some highlight on here. And look, this nice little vine that's almost going down the staff. And maybe a little bit on the hat. A little bit on the wings. You need a bit of silver on his wing, don't you? Maybe just a little bit. Just a little highlight on each of these. And over here, I think we'll have them on these dangly bits and a bit on the chain. Again, we've got some nice dangly bits there, some nice little... Let's have it on here. I don't want to get carried away, but I do think these nice, I don't know what they are, the dangly bits, they just need a bit of... And if I can just lift that up for you, can you just catch that lovely bit of silver sort of magic on there, on those, as I keep saying, dangly bits. So that's all there is to it, really. And I just think that is a lovely, lovely, nice, clean and simple design. And as I say, it's using the russet orange, but it would look lovely in other colours. But I just think these fairy lanterns cry out for the yellow and the orange. But he is definitely going to be one of my new favourites. So Mr. Fip. So we've got Fip and Pan. So I'm hoping you like them, and I'm hoping you can get your hands on them. As I say, I'm aware that some of our lovely followers in America and Australia, it takes you a while to get the stamps, but honestly, they are worth waiting for. And here's some ideas for you just while you're waiting. But like I say, maybe you could do this design with some other stamps. Whatever you make, I'd love you to tag me in. I always love to see your work. It's so nice that we can inspire each other. I hope you're having a lovely week, and I look forward to seeing you at the weekend. We've got so many lovely things planned. Tracy and the team have worked so hard to bring you a fabulous weekend. So make sure you join in where you can. Looking forward to seeing you then. You take care. Love and hugs, everybody. Bye for now.